Welcome back, friends, to another The City of Final Fantasy Opera Omnium video. Lids87 here, and today, guys, I wanted to talk to you guys about the upcoming Locke Lost chapter that we are going to be receiving on December 23rd, UTC time. Now, I did leave this up so I could remind myself, the screen that you guys are looking at currently right now, that the first multi-draw is going to be free. So good luck, guys. Good luck on your free multi-draw. Thank you very much, Square. Thank you very much. So, all right, let's get into it, friends. Let's talk about Locke. Let's talk about Celes. Celes is getting a rework. Locke and Celes, both of their EX weapon will become realizable. Their EXs are returning. I believe this is the third time we're seeing Locke's EX return. Even on the previous one with Noelle, the first multi-draw was free. That was the previous arc chapter. So, anywho, so first of all, actually, I also left this up for myself as a reminder. If you guys like to buy costumes, Locke's costume will become available, along with 9,000 gems, limited time wardrobe chest. So it's not bad. It's his outfit, his look from the actual game from Final Fantasy VI. So it's not bad. Hey, if I get Locke's EX weapon, maybe I'll buy it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So I want to talk about Celes first, and then I'm going to talk about Locke, as Celes will be the other character. Again, she will be getting a rework. Her EX weapon will be returning, and her EX weapon will become realizable. So Celes, Final Fantasy VI character, green crystal affinity. She wields great swords, big swords. Even though, I mean, this looks kind of small. The symbol's a big sword. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. All right, so let's take a look at her kit. So her first ability, Shine Edge. Nothing that hard, just Magic Brave HP attack. Her 15 CP weapon, upon using it, it increases the Brave potency. She does grind herself HP regen for a few turns, which is nice. She is a tank. She can lock. She can taunt enemies to target herself, so if she does take that HP damage, she will be able to heal herself back up. Nothing that special, just better max Brave up potency. Now her Crystal 55 passive, nothing we haven't seen before. Additional uses. More potency, more max Brave overflow. But this is actually pretty nice. This gets added to it, converts 30% of HP damage dealt to Brave. So essentially, use Shine Edge, you get that HP regen if you have her 15 CP weapon. And now you get Brave back based on the HP damage you dealt. Now this is pretty sweet. Actually, I love this when characters' kits allow them to do this, because then you essentially, depending on how much Brave you get back, you don't have to worry about potentially getting broken. I mean, 30% isn't that much, but I mean, the more HP damage you do, the more Brave you get back. And this kind of removes that fear. If she is a magic tank, which we will get to in a second, but if an enemy is doing like a melee type attack and you do have Brave, you're gonna be fine. You should be okay, unless it's an extremely hard-hitting boss, like if it's like the recast ability, there's a good chance you might get broken. But other than that, I love it when characters' kits get Brave back. And of course, extends duration of effects granted after use by 2 turns. So not that bad, not that complicated. It's very simple. Shine Edge extend. Now let's take a look at her second ability, which is Runic. So essentially what this does, raises Brave by 50%, grants magic Brave absorb for 2 turns, and cast target lock on the target. Now her 35 CP weapon. Now, what this does is, I'm actually not sure about this one. Turns Brave Attack into Brave Attack Plus, which is an Ice melee Brave Attack. So the rest of her kit is all magic. Even her like HP Plus, their Brave Attack is magic. This is the only thing that's still melee, and now she has Ice attached to her kit, which is strange because the rest of her kit is essentially non-elemental. This could be a blessing or a curse, because if the enemy resists Ice, this isn't going to be doing as much damage. That Brave Attack, it's just a one-hit Brave Attack, so it's not that grand. But if the enemy is weak to Ice, she'll be hitting just a little bit harder. Now, let's take a look at her Crystal 60 passive. Now, upon using Runic, she then becomes a Brave Battery to the whole party. She gets Overflow. She will also get Brave back based on the amount of HP damage she dealt, which again, going back to her first skill, her Shine Edge, same thing. I love that they do that, because then you don't have to worry as much about your Brave or getting broken. Now this is what's very interesting. Upon using Runic, and if you do have this passive equipped, Magic Brave Absorb becomes a stackable buff. it becomes a stackable buff, max at 5. So per each stack, she will get more max brave, up to maximum at 5. And also when this is active, it will lower the magic brave damage taken by allies. So she has some party utility. She has some brave to the party, and now she can reduce the amount of magic brave damage your party takes, which that's not bad, right? I mean, that's what tanks are supposed to be doing anyways in the first place. Now, while magic brave absorb is active, HP plus becomes a HP attack. I'm sorry, HP attack becomes HP attack plus, which there it is, the one hit magic brave plus HP attack converts 10% of the HP damage dealt to brave, which again, I like that. It's 10%, it's not a lot. So unless the enemy is doing magic type of damage, brave damage, then you might be in trouble if you could get broken, Now let me take a look. We're going to take a look at her additional ability. So when you use her additional ability, target lock on all enemies for 2 turns. This is pretty nice because if you know something big is coming, if there are multiple enemies that do magic attack, bring all the focus to her. She should be okay, especially if they do magic. Now her crystal 70 upon using her additional ability, will raise the party's max brave for 5 turns, and her bloomstone will increase the duration of target lock for 2 turns. Now, just by looking at her base kit, like we'll take a look at her EX weapon just in a second, but her base kit, it's not bad. She's a very niche tank, as she can just mainly absorb magic brave attacks with her second ability, which isn't bad. And then once you absorb all these magic attacks, she has different ways to essentially dump out that brave that she's gained with her HP plus, with her first ability Shine Edge. So usually with niche tanks is when they excel, they excel. They do pretty good if they're put in the proper situation. Now let's take a look at her EX weapon, Stoneblade. Again, it will be returning. So upon using this, it's just magic brave plus HP attack, single target. She will get Rune Knight for 5 turns along with medium attack up. And Rune Knight, what it does is raises her magic attack, which all of her brave hits are essentially magic attack, and she will grant herself brave and HP regen. So now she's really healing herself with Rune Knight, and on top of her HP regen from her 15 CP weapon. Now, the limit breaks, we've seen these before. Standard, slightly more brave damage, improves the effects of Rune Knight, and increases recast speed. Let's take a look at her realized EX weapon, Stoneblade Plus. Now at 0.3, increased recast speed, overflow up to 150%. 1.3, Rune Knight gains the following effect: raises party max brave, so more party utility, and when the quest starts, she gets Rune Knight and medium attack up for 5 turns. Not bad. Her 2 out of 3, after using her EX ability, she then again gets 30% of that HP damage dealt back as brave. Not bad at all. And at 3.3, this is what's interesting. This is another way for her to essentially dump out all that brave that she gained and do additional more damage. So what happens now is she will do a 2-hit magic brave plus HP attack before her initial 5-hit magic brave plus HP attack. So it's essentially 2 sets of brave plus HP attack in her animation, which again, it's a very nice way to dump out all that brave. Now, it will hit harder and just moderately raises max brave overflow. Her bonus sphere, after using ability, raises brave by 40% of event brave. Now, it's tough to say if you should build her up. Now, of course, if you're a fan of her, by all means, go for it, right? Waifu, I'm sure there's a lot of individuals out there that love Celes, so take her up to 3.3 if you want. Now, if you already have Warrior Light or some other tanks that are on the horizon, I probably wouldn't. I would just leave her at 0.3. She is mainly there to absorb the magic brave damage from enemies, so she does that very well already. And all this stuff, it just helps her do it. It just makes her EX ability hit harder. She gets brave back based on the HP damage dealt. So I would just realize it and just leave it there. Again, unless she is a personal favorite of you guys. Now, I think one thing that I failed to mention is her Bloomstone. Now, her Bloomstone, I would get her Bloomstone if you are going to take her up to crystal level 70, because again, with her additional ability, she can lock all the enemies onto her, and this will just give her another chance to do so. Now, for artifacts for her, I'd probably just go attack and max brave, you want her hitting harder with her skill 1 and her EX ability and max brave, because if the enemy is specifically magic brave attacking enemy, magic enemy, then you're gonna get a lot of brave. You will be getting a lot of brave. Now, potentially as another one, because we all know that RNG isn't the greatest, I could potentially see you guys going Mighty Shine Edge just to make it hit a little bit harder. But again, just attack 108, max break 330, it is ideal. Alright friends, now let's take a look at Locke, because this is his last chapter. Now Locke is a character from Final Fantasy VI. Melee attacker, healer, he wields daggers, and he is a blue crystal affinity character. Now let me take a look at his second ability first, because his sneak slash, it's something else. It took me a few reads, because me personally, I don't own Locke. I don't own his EX weapon even on global or JP, so I've rarely used them, so I'm not that familiar with this kit. So it took me a few reads to finally fully understand his kit. It's really not that complicated. So let's take a look at his Phoenix Ray first. So Phoenix Ray is just AoE Brave plus HP attack. Damage is split. His 35 CP weapon will now make it so it grants the party Brave based on his attack, more potency, and he will now heal the party based on the HP damage dealt up to 20% of the max HP of said unit. So now he has team utility. Brave battery and restores HP. Not bad, not bad at all. Way to go, Locke. Way to go. Now let's take a look at his crystal level 60. So nothing too special. It hits harder. It hits harder, and he gets additional use. Done. All right, let me quickly look at his additional ability. Again, we're sneak slash. You're gonna go last. So I actually do like his additional ability, because you can dispel a buff from an enemy, and this will then cancel Genji gloves or miracle shoes, and randomly grant himself Genji gloves or miracle shoes, which I'll talk about in a second once I get into his first skill, sneak slash. Now with his crystal level 70, it now gets a gravity-like effect. It will reduce the enemy's brave by half, which is very powerful, especially in chaos boss fights. When the boss gets massive amounts of brave, just by using this, it reduces it by half. That being said, I actually do recommend his Bloomstone, so you could get an additional use out of his additional ability. Way to go, Lids, way to go. But yes, I do recommend getting his Bloomstone if you are planning on taking him to crystal level 70, because again, that gravity, half of the enemies brave gone just like that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, friends, now let's take a look at his first ability, sneak slash. Now, all right, here we go, friends. Now on global, it's called something different. If I accidentally call it Thief's Glove, it's because that's what it's called on JP. It is called Brigand's Glove. Okay, so Brigand's Glove, Thief's Glove. I have to remember that. Now, upon using Sneak Slash, Locke will grant himself something called Thief's Gloves. Now, what Thief's Gloves does, it will turn his Brave attack into Mug. What Mug does, it will dispel any previous granted Genji Gloves or Miracle Shoes, and then he will grant himself Genji's Gloves or Miracle Shoes. Now, Brigand's Gloves, it will raise his max Brave attack and speed. Genji Gloves raises attack. Miracle Shoes raises his speed. Grants 8 Brave regen. Now, his 15 CP weapon will make it just hit harder. Not that bad. Now, let's take a look at his Crystal 55 passive Sneak Slash Extend. So, he will get more use. Sneak Slash, it'll hit harder, higher potencies, more overflow, HP attack after use. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Sneak Slash, after using Sneak Slash, it will turn into Sneak Slash Plus. Now, it works exactly like Noctis's abilities when they're in their plus form and the enemy is inflicted with Noctis's unique debuff. Locke, after using Sneak Slash Plus, will then be moved right before the enemy's turn. So that's a very nice way to manipulate turns. I like that a lot. And upon doing so, he will cancel Genji Gloves or Miracle Shoes and then re-grant himself Genji's Gloves or Miracle Shoes. And after using Sneak Slash Plus, it will then go back to Sneak Slash. When using Mug, more Brave hits, it hits harder, extends the duration of Genji's Gloves, Miracle Shoes. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Now, HP Attack Plus, Genji Gloves, it just hits harder. And then with HP Attack Plus Miracle Shoes, this one I actually prefer. This is, at least in my own personal opinion, is preferably the buff that I hope you guys get more often, because after using this, after using HP Attack Plus Miracle Shoes, you get a free. It's a free turn. Does not increase turn count. Right here. So we all know with all these chaos stages, especially with the stricter turn, these tighter turn requirements, this will come in handy. So in my opinion, I prefer Miracle Shoes over Genji Gloves. Even though Genji Gloves you can hit harder, Miracle Shoes you get a free turn. Now let's take a look at his EX weapon, Assassin's Dagger, which grants him access to the EX ability, Mirage Dive. Now that should be the same name over on Global. It is now, but it isn't realizable yet, but it will be. Now, for those of you, we have had this thing already. This is the third time we're going to be getting it. If you haven't gotten it before, you're not familiar with it. So Mirage Dive, it's 7-hit melee Brave plus HP attack, 150% overflow. He grants himself Treasure Hunter, which raises his max Brave attack and speed, and he will either restore himself Brave or HP after his own turn. That's a little bit too random for me. I kind of wish they kind of merged it into one. He gets Brave and HP regen back. So right now it's really up to RNG what happens at the end of your turn. Let's say you need a little bit of HP back and you're out of Phoenix Rays. You could be screwed over by RNG. So instead of HP, you're going to get Brave back. So I kind of wish that was merged. So now his limit breaks, nothing that special. Slightly recast speed, hits harder. His 3 out of 3 though will make it so the party gets more break bonus after breaking enemies. So that's pretty sweet. So just like Bahamut. Now let's take a look at his realized EX weapon. Now at 0-3, this is also where Locke gets really interesting. So after using Mirage Dive, he gets access to a unique buff called Master Scrolls. So Master Scrolls, what it does, it will raise his max Brave overflow limit. Now let me just finish reading this before I give my thoughts on this. So while Master Scrolls is active, his HP attack Genji Gloves, and Miracle Shoes will become HP attack Master Scrolls, which then you can essentially, it's a 2-hit melee Brave plus HP attack triggered twice. So kind of like Vivi with his double fire. And after using HP attack plus Master Scrolls, it will dispel Master Scrolls. So honestly, this is a great way to set up some extra damage, so to say. So what I could potentially see going on is you guys go into Mirage Dive, right after that go into Phoenix Ray, because of the more overflow limit from Master Scrolls, you can dish out more damage to the enemy party, especially if there's like 2 bosses. You want more Brave damage. Now after that, you want to go into potentially like your Sneak Slash, and then you guys could potentially go into Mug, because from my understanding, and I actually asked a few people because I was a little bit confused on this one, but if you guys know the definite answer to this, let me know down below in the comments. But from what I understand, even if you use Mug, it should not dispel Master Scrolls. Mug only dispels Genji Gloves or Miracle Shoes, and then regrants you either or. So you'll either get Genji Gloves or Miracle Shoes. But because Master Scrolls is active, both of those become Master Scrolls. So again, after using Mirage Dive, after your Phoenix Ray, after your Sneak Slash, you can then use Mug, and then after that, you could potentially go right into your HP attack plus Master Scrolls, so you could dump all that Brave that you just got with Mug, and then trigger an additional Brave plus HP attack, which that's a pretty big turn, especially if you go to the 3rd limit break of his realized EX weapon. That's going to be a lot of damage. So speaking of which, let's get to it. So at 1-3, quest starts, Treasure Hunter, Max Scrolls, so you can start doing all those wonderful shenanigans I just talked about. At 2-3, more Max Brave and attack, and at 3-3, so now he's essentially getting like a Squall treatment, where he now will deal 6-hit melee Brave plus HP attack triggered twice, which is pretty nice. But instead of like Squall, so Locke instead now will also deal splash damage to non-targeted enemies. So now he's got some essentially AoE splash damage. Now this, attached with all that wonderful potential turn setup that I talked about after using Mirage Dive, lots of single target damage, fall into Phoenix Ray, into Sneak Slash, into Mug, into HP attack, plus Master Scrolls. That's a lot. That is a huge turn for Locke, especially if Sneak Slash Plus is also active, because then you can go right before the enemy, so just even more damage. Gosh damn, this guy can dish out a lot of damage towards a single target. Now his bonus sphere is when attacking an enemy not targeting himself, he will raise his attack by 10%. Now this For this banner, of course, it's perfect because Celes can lock all the enemies. She could taunt all the enemies, so nobody's going to be focused on Locke unless it's an AoE ability. He should always have his attack increased by 10% as long as he's with the tank. Now, should you pull on this banner? Now, that's a question we're all asking ourselves, right, at this point. Now, I'm going to say, right off the bat, everybody should be pulling at least once on this banner because the first multi-draw is free. Now, they're not bad units. Honestly, like, after that, should you guys be continuing? Should you guys not? Now, their own unique in their own way. I want to say for Locke, if you guys have not had his EX weapon from before and you guys get it, he's not bad to build up because either way, if you... They're units to bring into Dimensions End, right? They're more units to bring into Dimensions End Chaos. We can beat those. We can get our plates, our gold plates, or so on and so forth as we get more stages unlocked later down the line. And it's just another way to essentially get more nuggets. Now, if you don't have any other type of melee DPS unit, Locke is a very good choice. As you guys saw, as I kind of essentially walked you guys through what you could potentially do after Mirage Dive, he really excels at dealing single target damage. Now, Celes, on the other hand, I want to say there's a better tank now, and that's going to be Warrior of Light. Warrior of Light, unlike Celes, where Celes absorbs only magic brave damage if she gets hit by any form of physical damage. She's not being used to her fullest potential, but Warrior Light, on the other hand, because he gets a shield to the party, it can't negate any brave damage as long as that shield is still up. So Celes, she's a very, very niche magic tank, but she will excel at it if she's put in the right situation. Now, we also have another tank on the right. We actually have a few tanks on the horizon. We do have Bosch, which is literally right after this. It's on December 26th, UTC, so literally a few days after Locke's Lost Chapter. And Bosch is essentially a AoE HP damage tank. So what that means is what he will do is any AoE HP damage to the party, he will direct that damage to himself. So your allies won't take HP damage. He will though. But he does give himself HP damage reduction, and he does have sustain built into his kit. He can HP regen. So honestly, like, again, if you guys have Warrior Light, if you guys have your other DPS units, and if you don't pull an EX weapon on this, I wouldn't really invest in this banner too much unless they're your faves. This banner is heavy on Final Fantasy VI characters. You guys do see Setzer up in the right-hand corner. But, I mean, Setzer will be coming back next month during Ultimate Brothers. You guys can see right here on the cursor in the bottom right side of the brother's portrait. Setzer will be returning with his EX weapon, and it will become realizable. And, oh, man, he's good. He's an excellent support unit. But, again, they're not bad. But if you guys already have other units already built up, then I wouldn't really chase after them, friends, unless they are your favorites. Now, before I end it, though, let's take a look just quickly. This will be Locke's Lost Chapter Chaos Boss, the Necro Raven. Resist Dark. It is weak to Ice and Thunder, so Cryo will come in very handy here. And it is weak to Range. Now, hold on, let me go to the global side so we can read all this wonderful stuff. Now, it is a Phoenix, so it will revive itself after you kill it one time. So you deplete its HP bar. He will revive, and I'm sure you guys can see right now as I highlight. Hold on, where'd it go? Magic. So you guys can see that Celes will excel at this. Even if you don't have her EX weapon, I believe she can still do very well here as long as your other two units are really powerful. Now, from what I remember, this fight over on JP, this was one of the easier Lost Chapter fights because it is a single enemy, so it's a little bit easier to essentially control its brave with like units with like Charlotta with her frame debuff, with Sarah with Ultimecia's frame debuff, because they all have some time of like brave damage, sap, poison built into their frame debuffs. So it's a little bit easier to control the single target compared to two enemies where you don't have to worry about two different sources of damage, or like anyone that's taken on Dimensions End. The first one on Chaos with that tier 1 with the 3 bombs, gosh damn. I did not like that. But anywho, so in my opinion, this is one of the easier Chaos fights. It shouldn't be that bad. All right, friends, that is it for this video, friends. Thank you guys for joining me on giving you guys my 2 cents about Locke and his banner and his lost chapter. Again, guys, they're not bad units, but if you guys do have other DPS units or warrior lighter tanks or other tanks on the horizon, then I'd probably skip out on this after the first initial pull. That being said, friends, let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about Locke, about Celes, about the Lost Chapter, the banner itself. Are you guys, aside from your initial free pull, are you guys going to be chasing? Are you guys going to be skipping? Let me know all that wonderful stuff down below in the comments. All right, friends, so until next time, good luck and have a good one.